let me ask you something. Have you ever believed the idea that men are simple, that all they really want is sex? Maybe you've even been told that by friends, by movies, by dating advice floating around the internet. And let's be honest, sometimes it feels true, right? You meet a guy, things get physical, and suddenly it seems like that's all he's interested in. But here's the truth that no one tells you: sex might attract a man's attention, but it's not what makes him stay. In fact, what keeps a man truly addicted to you, what makes him think about you at work, on the drive home, even when he's surrounded by distractions, has very little to do with the physical. The reality is men are far more complex than the stereotype suggests. Yes, sex is fun, exciting, and important in a relationship. But when you peel back the layers, what men crave on a deeper level are things that touch their soul, not just their body. Things that make them feel alive, respected, inspired, safe, and connected. And here's where it gets interesting. When you understand the things that actually turn men on more than sex, you stop competing in the wrong arena. You stop worrying about whether you're good enough in bed, or whether you have to perform some impossible routine to keep his attention. Instead, you tap into the things that make you unforgettable, the qualities that make him see you as the woman he doesn't want to lose. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 things that turn men on more than sex. And trust me, once you master these, you'll realize it's not about doing more, it's about being more. When people think about what turns a man on, their minds immediately jump to the physical. But here's the thing that so many women miss. What truly makes a man melt, what makes him crave you more than anything, is emotional safety. I want you to imagine something for a second. Picture a man walking into the world every single day. At work, he has to perform, he has to compete, he has to be strong, he has to act like he has everything under control. Even with his friends, there's often this unspoken pressure to never show too much vulnerability, never appear too weak, never admit when he's scared or when he's struggling. Men are taught from a very young age, don't cry, don't complain. Don't let anyone see your weakness. So by the time he's an adult, most men are carrying this armor around every single day. They're performing, projecting confidence, trying to keep it all together, even when inside they're craving a place to just let go. Now, here's where you come in. When a man finds a woman who makes him feel emotionally safe, it's intoxicating. It's not about agreeing with him all the time or letting him off the hook when he messes up. Emotional safety means that when he opens up, he's not punished for it. When he shares his fears, he's not laughed at. When he reveals the softer, more vulnerable parts of himself, he's not made to feel less of a man. Instead, he feels accepted. He feels understood. And let me tell you, that is more addictive than sex, because while sex might satisfy him physically, emotional safety feeds something much deeper, his soul. Think about it this way: when a man feels like he can be fully himself with you without judgment, without having to put on a show, that's when his heart bonds with you. That's when he thinks, I can't find this anywhere else. And believe me, there are plenty of women who can turn him on physically, but the woman who can make him feel like home, that's the woman he'll keep coming back to. That's the woman he can't get out of his head. And the truth is, it doesn't take grand gestures to create that sense of safety. Sometimes it's as simple as listening without rushing to fix him. It's saying, I get why you'd feel that way, instead of dismissing his feelings. It's letting him know that being vulnerable doesn't make him weak. It makes him human. When you do that, you're giving him something rare, something men don't get from the world around them. And that's why it's so powerful. So the next time you wonder, what makes a man truly addicted to me? Remember, this: sex might get his body, but emotional safety captures his heart. And once you have that, you'll find that he'll fight to never let you go. If there's one thing that most people don't realize about men, it's how deeply they crave admiration and respect. Now, let me be clear. I'm not talking about blind obedience or acting like he's a king and you're his servant. That's not real respect. That's just playing small. What I mean is recognizing and appreciating the value he brings, the effort he puts in, and letting him know that you see it. And trust me, for a man, that's one of the biggest turn-ons he'll ever experience. Here's the thing: men walk through life constantly asking themselves, am I enough? Am I good enough at what I do? Do I measure up? And while society paints men as confident and self-assured beneath the surface, Many of them are walking around with quiet insecurities they'll never admit. That's why admiration is so powerful. When he hears it from you, the woman he cares about, it lands differently. It's not the same as his boss telling him, "good job," or a stranger giving him a compliment. When it comes from you, it fuels him. It makes him want to show up even stronger. Imagine as he fixes something around the house, or maybe he goes out of his way to protect you in a subtle moment, or he puts effort in planning something for the two of you. Now, you could just say thanks and move on. But if instead you take that moment to look at him and say, "I love how you always step up for me," or "it makes me feel so safe when you handle things like that," you're not just acknowledging the action, you're affirming who he is as a man. That's the kind of admiration that goes deeper than sex ever could. And here's the beautiful irony: when a man feels respected and admired, he naturally wants to give you more to admire. He wants to be better for you. He wants to step up more, provide more, protect more. Respect doesn't make a man lazy. It inspires him. That's why it's such a massive turn on. It makes him feel strong, capable, and desired, not just for his body, but for his character, his actions, his essence. Now, let me say this: respect doesn't mean never calling him out. You can respect someone and still hold them accountable. In fact, real respect sometimes means telling him when he's out of line, but doing it in a way that doesn't tear him down. It's saying, "I know you're better than this, and I believe in you," instead of "you're useless." The first one inspires him, the second one wounds him, and men remember those wounds for a long time. So if you want to turn a man on in a way that lasts beyond the bedroom, show him that you notice who he is and what he does. Make him feel 10 feet tall with your words, because admiration and respect are oxygen for a man's soul. And once he breathes that in from you, he'll never want to live without it. One of the most underrated things that turn a man on more than sex is playfulness. And I'm not just talking about cracking a few jokes or being silly once in a while. I mean that energy of fun lightness and humor that makes life feel like an adventure when he's with you. Let's be real, life can be heavy. Work pressures, responsibilities, bills, deadlines. Men carry a lot on their shoulders. And most of the time, they're expected to be strong, to keep pushing forward without complaining. That weight gets exhausting. But when he's with a woman who knows how to bring playfulness into the relationship, it's like a breath of fresh air. Suddenly he can let go, laugh, and feel like a kid again, and that feeling is irresistible. Think about it, sex might excite him in the moment, but playfulness makes him want to keep coming back to you over and over. Why? Because it changes how he feels about himself when he's around you. A man doesn't just remember what you say, he remembers how you make him feel. And if you're the woman who makes him laugh until his stomach hurts, who teases him in a way that makes him grin, who can turn an ordinary moment into something fun, that's addictive. That's the kind of energy that keeps him hooked. Playfulness also builds chemistry faster than anything else. You can create sparks by flirting, teasing, even having those little inside jokes that only the two of you share. It's like your own secret language. When you can be cheeky, when you're not afraid to poke fun at him a little, it tells him something powerful, that you're comfortable, that you're confident, and that you don't need everything to be perfect all the time. And that, ironically, is incredibly sexy. But here's the part most people miss. Playfulness doesn't mean being immature or turning everything into a joke. It's about balance. It's about being able to switch gears. You can be serious when you need to be, but you can also create those moments of fun that remind him why he loves being around you. Because honestly, you could be the most beautiful woman in the world, but if you're always serious, always heavy, always stressed, he won't feel light with you. And men chase that feeling of lightness. They crave that escape. And here's the truth: laughter bonds people. When he laughs with you, he relaxes, his guard drops, he feels closer to you without even realizing it. And over time, he starts to associate you with joy. You become the person who turns his bad day into a good one. You become the reason he smiles at his phone when he sees your name pop up. That's not just attraction, that's emotional glue. So if you want to turn a man on in a way that lasts beyond the bedroom, don't underestimate humor. Be playful, be fun. Let him see the side of you that's lighthearted and free. Because when a man feels like life is better, brighter, and more fun with you, that's when he doesn't just want you, he needs you. Mystery and intrigue are some of the most powerful turn-ons for a man, and not enough people talk about this. Now, when I say mystery, I don't mean playing childish games like disappearing for days or pretending not to care when you actually do. I'm talking about the kind of mystery that comes from having your own life, your own passions, your own energy that he can't fully pin down. That sense that there's always more to discover about you. Because here's the truth, men love the chase, but the chase isn't about you running away and him chasing after you. The real chase is about discovery. It's about him feeling like every time he's with you, he learns something new, he peels back another layer, he unlocks another part of you that keeps him fascinated. Think about how it feels when you start a new show on Netflix. You watch the first episode and you're hooked. Not because you know everything that's going to happen, but because you don't. It's the not knowing that keeps you coming back. And in relationships, it's the same. If you give everything about yourself away too quickly, you rob the relationship of that excitement. He might still like you, but there's no anticipation, no curiosity, no hunger to learn more. But if you reveal yourself slowly, if you let him earn those deeper layers of you, he becomes hooked. Mystery also comes from having a life outside of him. When you have hobbies, when you're passionate about your work, when you spend time with your friends, when you have your own adventures, he starts to see you as this fascinating, dynamic person. He realizes you're not waiting around for him to complete you. You're already complete. And that independence makes him lean in. It makes him want to be part of your world. Here's the irony. A lot of women give everything away because they're scared of losing him. They think, I hold back, he'll think I'm not interested. But the opposite is true. When you reveal yourself too quickly, you remove the intrigue. When you pace yourself, when you share little by little, when you let him earn your trust and your deeper levels, you actually increase his interest. You make him invest more. And here's what's really sexy. Mystery makes a man feel like he's on a journey with you. He doesn't just get all of you at once. He gets to experience you over time. And that journey is what bonds him. It makes him feel like he's part of something exciting, like he's discovering treasure layer by layer. So if you want to turn a man on more than sex ever could, don't be afraid to hold something back. Don't be afraid to let him wander a little, to let him chase a little, to let him discover who you are in stages. Because when a man feels like he hasn't figured you out completely, when there's always something new to learn about you, that's when you stay on his mind long after he's left your side. Confidence is, without a doubt, the ultimate turn on for a man. And I don't just mean confidence in the sense of walking into a room with your head held high or being loud and outgoing. I'm talking about the kind of deep confidence that comes from knowing your worth, carrying yourself with grace, and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. That kind of self-assuredness is magnetic. It draws men in because it sends one very powerful message. I want you, but I don't need you. And believe me, that's irresistible. Here's the thing. Many women think that to keep a man interested, they need to bend over backwards, constantly please him, or prove that they're good enough. But the opposite is true. When you operate from a place of neediness, when your sense of worth depends on whether or not he validates you, he may enjoy the attention at first, but deep down he won't respect it. Men might be attracted to someone who chases them endlessly, but they don't stay with her long term. Why? Because there's no challenge, no standard to rise to. On the other hand, when you embody confidence and self-worth, you instantly separate yourself from the crowd. You become the woman who has boundaries, the woman who knows what she brings to the table, the woman who doesn't accept crumbs. And here's what happens. He steps up. He invests more. He values you more because he knows you value yourself. Confidence also shows up in subtle ways. It's in the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, the way you handle situations. A confident woman doesn't over-explain her decisions. She doesn't apologize for existing, and she doesn't shrink herself to make a man feel bigger. Instead, she allows her presence to be felt without forcing it. And that quiet, grounded confidence is more of a turn on than any physical act could ever be. Now, here's the part that makes this so sexy to a man. Confidence creates desire. When he knows you don't need him to complete you, he feels chosen instead of obligated. And men want to feel chosen. It makes him think, out of all the options she has, she picked me. That's powerful. That's when his attraction goes beyond the surface and becomes something deeper. And let's be real, confidence isn't about being perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't need to be flawless. True confidence is about embracing your imperfections, owning your uniqueness, and not apologizing for who you are. It's the ability to say, this is me, take it or leave it. And ironically, when you carry yourself that way, men don't want to leave it. They want to hold on tighter. So if you really want to turn a man on in a way that sex alone never could, focus on your confidence. Show him through your actions, your boundaries, and your energy that you know your worth, because when a man sees that you value yourself, it makes him value you more. And that kind of attraction lasts far beyond the bedroom. It lasts for a lifetime. So here's what I want you to take away from everything we've talked about today. Yes, sex is important in a relationship. It's exciting, it's intimate, it's fun, but it's not the whole story. What truly makes a man obsessed with you, what makes him crave you on every level, goes so much deeper than just the physical. It's the way you make him feel. When you give a man emotional safety, you're giving him a gift that almost no one else in his life gives him: the freedom to be himself without judgment. When you show admiration and respect, you're fueling his confidence and letting him know you see his value. When you bring playfulness into his world, you become the joy he looks forward to, the escape from the stress of everyday life. When you create mystery and intrigue by maintaining your individuality, you keep his curiosity alive and make him feel like he's on a journey with you. And when you embody confidence and self-worth, you show him that he's chosen by a woman who doesn't settle, one who knows her value and expects to be treated with the same respect. These 5 things are what separate a woman who's just another fling from the woman he can't stop thinking about. These are the things that make him want to invest, to commit, and to never risk losing you. And the best part, you don't have to try to be someone you're not to embody them. These qualities come alive when you stop chasing approval, when you stop worrying about being good enough, and when you start living from your own sense of worth and joy. So here's my challenge for you. Don't just listen to this and think, that was nice advice. Pick one of these 5 things and focus on practicing it this week. Maybe it's adding a little more playfulness into your conversations. Maybe it's taking a moment to genuinely admire something he's done. Maybe it's holding back just a little and letting mystery do its magic. Whatever it is, take action, because it's the small, consistent changes that create massive shifts in your relationships. And if this resonated with you, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, which of these 5 things do you feel is your strongest, and which one do you want to work on more? I read every comment, and I love hearing your stories. If you found this valuable, make sure you hit that like button. It really helps support the channel so I can keep making videos like this for you. And if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because I've got more powerful relationship advice coming that you don't want to miss. Remember this: sex may spark attraction, but these 5 things ignite devotion. And when you embody them, you won't just turn a man on, you'll make him fall for you on every level.